We'll call this work session Monday, January 27th to order. Invocation given by Ansley Light and the Pledge of Allegiance by Cooper White.
Let us pray. Dear God, thank you for our city. Please watch over our council members as they make important decisions. Please watch over us tonight. All these things I ask in your name. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, number one tonight is discuss the downtown Scottsboro Pocket Park. Richie, Ms. Reynolds, you going to start? Oh, I'm sorry. All right. We'll slide it to the end. Not a problem. We'll go to number two then. Number two, discuss the tourism grant application for the Scottsboro High School Drama Club. Ms. Brockton.
No public speaker, so.
Oh, go ahead. You're good.
So we are asking specifically for $7,500, but anything is appreciated. I want to start out by thanking you for considering us for this tourism grant. The money will be put back into Scottsboro. So we got started. Some students came to me and asked if I would sponsor the drama club because I know nothing about any drama. I don't have any kind of experience in drama, but I agreed to do this, and we got started, a group of students, some are here, and we got started, and we have put in a lot of time and work and effort. We have done several fundraisers in the city. We did the barbecue festival. We did face painting. We've done as many fundraisers as we could because they limit us on how many we can do. And we have, and all of the students participated. But it was all student-driven. So, like I said, we got started. Some students asked me if I would be a sponsor, and I agreed. But plays of this type take money, obviously. And so they help promote the arts and develop the minds of the students in Scottsboro, as well as Jackson County. We offered free performances for all of Scottsboro City students. We had people coming from, so we Lisa Teal broke this down, our bookkeeper, and we had people from the surrounding areas. So we had Scottsboro, Jackson County, Marshall, DeKalb, and then Fort Payne and Gunnersville. So we had people from all those surrounding areas that came and watched our performance. We even had family and friends from Texas, Florida, and Colorado that came, and they stayed in our hotels and ate at our restaurants. So that also benefited our city. So the numbers for this, we showed the performance to over 2,000 students, Scottsboro City and Jackson County students. We showed the general admission to the public over 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We showed it to over 1,300 people, and that was how many tickets were sold. We advertised this through digital billboards, newspapers, social media, and flyers in all local businesses, and our students went door to door to those businesses and handed those out and asked if we could put them up. And this is our first year that we've done this, and the production of this magnitude, I feel like it was a big success. We've had a lot of support from our community. This money will be used for the future of our drama program. This is the only outlet that some of our students have. And so it has been a huge success for our students because Collins has it, and then it stops at 8th grade. And so some of our students don't have that opportunity in high school. And so some of these students, it's the only outlet that they have. So this money would positively impact the continuation of our program in the future, and it would give the opportunity for the city to continue to put back into the city. If given the opportunity, I'm confident that it will benefit our students and our community as well. So, thank you.
Okay. Anyone have any questions? Anything on this?
I got to watch the play. It was really good.
Thank you.
And I think it's great that it gives children the outlet that want to perform and do those types of things. But it was a really good play.
And we also had several businesses in our program. I brought a program, but we had several businesses that also that donated food and stuff like that. And so we gave them shout outs and stuff, which also helps our community as well, because they were advertised on social media, and some of the places the students had never even heard of before, so that really helped our community as well. So,
Let me say, I just thank you to you and the other teachers who got involved in this, because I know it was out of your comfort zone, and it just takes that leap of faith to benefit all the children with this, and thank you. All right. There's no other questions or anything. We'll move that to tonight's meeting. Thank you. Number 3 on here tonight was to discuss the purchase of a new police patrol vehicle for the police department. Chief Latimer.
Thank you for letting me come tonight. What I'm doing, I'd like to ask the council to approve a budget amendment for up to $26,000 to go along with the $38,616 in insurance funds that we received for 3 wrecked vehicles that we had in 2024. We lost those 3 vehicles, but we're reimbursed by the insurance, by AMIC, for the $38,616.41. I believe it was put back in the general fund. I'm requesting that I be able to use those funds with an additional $26,000 with a budget amendment to cover the cost of a new vehicle, a new police totally outfitted vehicle that's lights, emergency lights, sirens, computers, all the cages in it, all the striping and all that. The total of that roughly is about $63,870 for one vehicle. And that's what I'm asking for.
Okay. Anyone have any questions on this? About surplus in the 3, and what, have they already been surplus, Whitney?
I'll have to go
Sorry, I
back
put you
and
on the
check.
fly.
I'm not sure, but they need to be. because
Okay, well,
they
we'll just go
co-
ahead and do it tonight. Well, surplus in those 3 vehicles and putting that money towards a new police vehicle. So, anyone have any questions on that? Then we'll move that to tonight's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, number 4, discuss allocation to the Commercial Development Authority for the purchase of property. Mayor, you want to go over that?
Mr. President, you should have in your packets, each of you, the information from the appraisal that the Commercial Development Authority has had appraised and has requested support for these properties that they will be purchasing.
Anyone have questions or comments on this? No one has it. I'd like to go just say, you know, this amount of money, we'll need more than just one night. So I'd like to put this on the February 10th meeting to give everyone a chance to look this over. Anyone else have questions or comments on this? Then we'll move this to the February 10th. All right. Ms. Reynolds, we'll go back to number 1.
So, as y'all know, I'm on the Main Street Design Committee, and I'm here with the best committee ever. And we have been working for 2.5 years to try to find a way to bring a green space pocket park to downtown. We think that it will be a great addition to our downtown. We hope it'll bring people to town and dollars to our businesses and tourism to the town, and we just think we want it to be used. And we've finally gotten to a point where we think we can make this happen. And we have been working with Jeremy Robinson of Robinson Waldrop construction, and he has been holding our hands for the whole 2.5 years. And honestly, I just thought it was going to be a simple project. And he is literally every step of the way, no, you can't do that. This is why you need to do this first. And, and so it's been a learning curve for me, for sure. But he's here tonight to talk about the project. And so I'm going to turn it over to him, Jeremy.
Sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
No problem, no problem.
I was about an hour out, so. Is this portable? Can I move it where?
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah,
wanna see
yeah.
this
Yeah.
too, or-
I mean, you can turn this around if you like.
Where y'all can see it, and
Yeah.
I'll tell everybody, if I can get it where everybody can see. Can everybody see that? Okay, halfway, can y'all see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're good.
Sorry.
That's all right.
You can look at it later on. I'm just gonna, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna talk from over here. You're good. So, I'm Jeremy Robinson, with Robinson Water Landscape. I've been fortunate enough to be in business for about 25 years, and, we actually did some work for y'all's city of the ballparks with Jim Mullinane's several years ago. He was a good guy. He's a real good guy to work with. So, anyway, Richie called me, I guess, 2 years ago now, with a vision of this project, and she didn't have a clue about budgets, what something like this could cost, which, I mean, a lot of folks don't. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first met with her, she had a number in mind, and she had kind of a sketch, and I was like, way off. But anyway, so I've been very fortunate to be able to work with Richie and the committee. Those ladies have worked really, really hard. They've been here, excited. We've met how many times? A lot. And, to be able to work through the process, we brought an architect on board, and there's been a lot of time that's gone into meeting with the adjoining landowners of that vacant lot to make sure that they're educated on what's gonna happen. And there's been a lot of hours put into coming up with a plan that you see here. So basically what I'm here tonight to do is educate y'all. Anita, she's been great from the city council with us as our contact. So she's heard all this, so you're gonna have to listen to it again.
It's all right.
But I just wanna educate y'all on what we're planning to do, kind of give y'all a couple of timelines on that, and then I'm gonna bring up Bill Talley when I'm finished and let him go over a few things as well that y'all need to consider. But if y'all will allow me just a little bit of time, first of all, thank you for your support. Thank the city council for the support. I've heard that through the grapevine, Anita, everybody's very supportive. Thank you for the donation that y'all gave for the bathrooms. That will definitely be put toward the bathrooms, and we'll talk about that in a little while. Thank you to Julia for being in all the meetings, the committee, Bill, Andy, thank y'all for sure. And then there's been a few of the board members that have been there on and off. We appreciate y'all, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my best to try to walk you through this, and y'all bear with me, because it's gonna take a minute so everybody can understand what's gonna happen, and I don't want to be standing there on top of y'all. But basically, we're looking at it here from the court square. So we want the entrance to be grand, okay? So I've done some of these parks before. Any park that you have, if the entrance is not good, nobody's really gonna be interested in what's gonna be on the inside of that project. So basically, this project's gonna encompass, an entrance here. We're gonna have a nice fountain area. There is gonna be a sound engineer stage in the back that will lead through some green space for some seating. All the green space, there will be no real grass anywhere in this facility. It'll be artificial turf. Real grass is just not conducive to a lot of foot traffic. So basically, this is gonna be a very small area, and we wanna make sure that, longevity is definitely a goal here, something that's gonna be able to be stomped on, kids are gonna play on it, whatever happens, and we don't get sod beat down into the dirt, okay? And then eventually lead to a big amphitheater stage, okay? Inside that stage will be the entertainment area. There's gonna be plenty of storage. There's gonna be 4 bathrooms, 2 women, 2 men. okay? Trump made it very clear that they're not. I mean, had to throw that out. Anyway, maybe I shouldn't have said that. If I offended you, you can blame him. Anyway, there'll be four bathrooms. The reason for that, so this part, we went through some pretty, I don't want to step on any toes when I say this, but I'm just going to say it. So, just say Nita uses the park for one of her children's something, okay? And it's on a Thursday night. Say the city just happened to not be able to get through that day or whatever, and we want to be able to designate 2 bathrooms for the park. That way, if there's an event, guys, y'all know this, okay? I've done several of these. Those bathrooms on the back side, we want 2 bathrooms for the park, 2 bathrooms on the back side, so you can access those from the rear for the public, okay? We all know what could happen in those bathrooms, okay? There's a lot of things that happen, he can tell you, after hours that may or may not be good. We want to keep 2 bathrooms private for the park, so they can always be fresh and clean, okay? That will not be accessed to the public. Does that make sense? So it'll be Jack and Jill style, women's and men. And from the rear, if y'all want to, we can get into all those logistics of, will they be open all the time or whatever. So there'll be 2 bathrooms, there'll be plenty of storage. This parking in the back, it's just not a lot of parking, but there will be some parking that will be re-asphalted, re-curved, completely revamped in the back of this lot. Okay, so we're from curve to curve. Throughout the park, there's going to be tables, benches, trees, plenty of beautiful color, shrubbery. There will be some seating walls. All of these planters will be at seating height, where there'll be plenty of seating on the seating walls. The sound system. So we've had a lot of discussion about this. There's going to be a lot of good music out there, and it's state of the art. I mean, as fancy as, I'm not a technology guy, but as fancy as you can imagine, the lighting and the sound will be of that nature. Everything will be run from Wi-Fi, off of iPads. We will have hard wiring there for backup, just in case we need it, but everything will be run from an iPad. Bring a concert in, they all are, a group to do a concert, they're all equipped for that now. So I'm told. I'm not Andy knows more about that than I do.
Yeah.
But the stage is going to be, I guess, code for a big band. So if Kid Rock showed up here, he can play. He's got plenty of room for all his people. Okay? That might happen, you never know. But anyway, it's gonna just for the building, for y'all that know about building, it's gonna be a red iron stage. Everything's gonna be built from red iron. It's gonna be very structural. If you want to just think about, I guess, the way that we drove the Cadillac on every bit of this. I'm talking about the state of the art. I can sit here and beat the dead horse. We can go through the little aspects of everything. I think you'll get the general gist. Basically, in my opinion, I've seen this happen in other cities. We did the Stove House project in Huntsville. I don't know if y'all have ever been over there or not. It really, really developed that part of Huntsville. It brings a lot of, when you add music to a town, I think y'all had some playing at Christmas. I think I heard it out here. When you add music to a town, and when people walk through the town, they hear music playing, it makes for a better area. I don't know why, but it does. It just makes people calm down. I guess, as a little town in Carrollton, Alabama, where we did some work one time, the mayor said, he said it just kind of, even the people that are bad, it makes them calm down, So, I don't know what it is. Andy's request was he'd like for music to be playing, throughout the day. And Andy's a big music guy, and I agree with him. Have some good soft music playing throughout the day. So basically, it's going to bring a very, very fresh taste to the Court Square. It's going to be a very modern up-to-speed facility. And I think that it will bring other interest to the square for sure. I would like to address one thing. So there's gonna be, y'all may have a question about, well, what are we gonna do? Because there's a lot of parking that gets taken, there's a lot of parking over there now. We explored, there's property here on the corner. Y'all own a small portion of that. And then, help me with the name. The Armstrongs own the adjoining property there on the corner. That is the first thing you see when you come into the city. Just giving some helpful advice here. I don't know if you could have, for a parking area, I don't know if you could do a joint venture with the Armstrong family, and kind of bring that corner up to speed, because that whole corner's kind of, parking lot's rough. It's pretty rough up there. But if that was developed, because there's a bake shop and I think Berkshire Hathaway, so they're not using a lot back there. There's a lot of vacant parking, but you just don't really know it's parking because it's kind of rough and warm. So if you were able to kind of work with those guys and get that kind of revamped and get that corner revamped, that would open up some parking there, and then also designate some new parking along the side of the street. So that would help with some. I understand the DA's office is moving. Is that right?
No,
Oh, they're not?
the DA's office is not.
Who was it? We talked about,
The probate office and your
okay, sorry.
tags.
Revenue office is
Revenue
also
office.
moving.
So maybe
That'll open up a
away
lot.
some. That'll help a lot, yeah. But anyway, basically with all that being said, it's an exciting project. We are looking to break ground around the 24th of February. We want to get, 25th? Hold on. 24th. Just around that date. We're wanting to get the project started. This needs to be open in warm weather. And it's gonna, y'all know how construction goes. We gotta get the ball rolling. And, so we're wanting to get started around the 24th, 25th. It's according to when people can get there for a groundbreaking, ceremony for that. But we're looking probably 6 to 7 months to get the construction done. And definitely want to open it up in the warm weather. We don't want to be out here in coats, for a grand opening. So, there's been some talk about that. And, have I covered everything? The only other thing I want to say, the two gentlemen sitting on the second row, this project can't happen without the foundation. They have been very gracious to fund this project. And until they came on board, it was dead. There was no way that we could pull off something like this. So I'm just gonna be transparent. Andy, you okay with that? For a little lady that's no longer with us, that put money back a long time ago to be able to have a foundation, actually some sisters. Two Sisters Park, this is kind of, don't pay attention to Peachtree, we haven't revised that. Two Sisters Park, right? Square, Two Sisters Square. That's named after basically the two sisters. So for them to put the money back years ago, to be able to have the money now, to be able to do something to this magnitude, which is big. I work with a lot of projects, and very, very seldom does a foundation come through like those two gentlemen right there have come through. And thank y'all. I know y'all made their dream come true, and I'm just happy to be able to walk through this with them, to put things in motion, try to get it to a point, get it started, get them a finished product, and I couldn't ask to work with any better people. So at this time, if there's not any more questions, y'all have any questions for me?
Anyone have any questions on this? No. Only question I have, Richie, you said 2.5 years. It seems like a lot more than that.
Amen.
I may add though, Jeremy, as we all know, has been driving over here.
Yes.
For these meetings and helping and holding hands.
For nothing.
For nothing.
For nothing.
For 2 years at least.
Yeah, well, I've done a lot of work. It's all ever done, and I told Richie when she called me, she was so sweet. And, she was, just, And it's been enjoyable for me because we've done so much work, and y'all know this, you're in your jobs every day. It's the same old job every day. I mean, we've planted thousands and thousands of trees and put in miles of irrigation line. I mean, it's just, it gets monotonous, but to be able to see something like this, to see the excitement out of these ladies and out of Bill and Andy, it's exciting to see something like that come to fruition. I enjoy doing stuff like that, so I didn't mind at all. They've been easy to deal with. James kept me in line. You know, it's been great. So, but anyway, if y'all don't have any more questions for me, I'm gonna turn it over to Bill. Bill's got some lawyer stuff he wants to talk about.
Right.
You just ruined.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Just spoiled the mood in the whole auditorium. Yeah, Andy and I are honored to be here on behalf of the Bynum Foundation. As many of you in here know, and some of you may not know, the two sisters were Jessie Sue and Lucy Bynum, two of the most generous, public-minded, progressive people you would ever hope to meet. They were highly educated, thoroughly interested in the welfare of the community, in the arts, and in the upward mobility of our citizens. And such people are rare. And we can all be so thankful for the blessings that Jessie, Sue, and Lucy brought to us. The good news is the foundation is going to pay for this. Y'all have already done your part. You paid what you paid. We're grateful, thankful for that. But just to let you know, the city's not going to be out anything once we're through with construction and it's opened up. Then you will be responsible for a few things. When we going through the design process, the whole idea was to make something permanent, lasting, that will retain its beauty for the indefinite future. If you build something cheap, it'll wear out fast. You know, if you put plywood up and, you know, cheap materials, and in a few years everything starts to peel and warp, and this is going to be solid, permanent construction that's easy and cheap to maintain. That being said, what we expect from the city side, and I don't think any of this will be surprising to you, that somebody has to do this, you know, and Main Street can't, it's not an ongoing permanent entity like the city of Scottsboro is. I hope it's around forever, but the idea would be this, and I've been over this with Steve. The city would deed this property to the Main Street entity, which is a 501c3, so it's eligible. And they have to be 501c3 for the Bynum Foundation to participate anyhow. So that's all fine. There will be a deed to the property. Me and Jeremy and Steve will cooperate to get and Richie and whoever, to get a construction contract put together. So that'd be the next step in the procedure, would be to have, of course, there'd be a contract and it'll have a due date. And we feel like an ample, more than ample period of time would be 9 months, and I'm told that 6 months is probably possible, roughly. We all know how construction is, but it can vary. So we would expect that it will be fully open and functioning no more than 9 months from groundbreaking. We are going to run our ideas by the County Commission chairman, because they're on the square, and sometimes we close the traffic off, and y'all have been through this before. I mean, they know how to do this. Just so they'll know and be brought into this, and hopefully be supportive also. I think they will. Now, as far as the maintenance goes after completion, there's 4 bathrooms. 2 on the back are public, and the 2 in the front are for events. as Jeremy said, you have to defend that property. So we would expect that they'll be locked at night and opened in the morning. That won't take long. But if you don't close them up, the Lord knows what's going to happen, you know. We don't want them destroyed, vandalized. They won't be kept clean. So we would expect that. We would expect a daily sweep of the property to see if there's any trash to be picked up, leaves to be raked, cleaned up. You know, just police up the area to see if there's anything that needs to be done on a daily basis. Shouldn't take but a few minutes unless there's a big disaster, somebody's spilled all their garbage everywhere. But if you keep up with it on a daily basis like that, nothing can go unnoticed and unrepaired and uncleaned up, you know, for any period of time. So opening and closing every day would be part of the function. And I understand there's some consideration being given to an employee who would take care of those kinds of things, this and other properties that has to be checked on, you know, once again, for the same reasons. We would expect the city to cover whatever liability insurance. Hopefully, it'll just fall under your existing policy. If not, then, you know, some would have to be procured. There'll be some utility expense, electricity, water. There's no gas involved. There'll be small utility bills. The city would be responsible for that. Any repairs or maintenance that is required, the city would be the entity to take care of that. You know, if concrete needs to be cleaned or a surface is dirty, we've already covered that, but any kind of maintenance or repairs. As Jeremy mentioned, it's artificial grass, and it's nice artificial grass. This is the good kind. It's not, you know, like you see, it looks real cheap and, you know, thin and ugly. It's going to be.
Some of us, Ms. Ritchie, some of us were thinking that same thing.
Whatever works, I'm good with it. And if any, and y'all have more experience than this, and certainly I do, and maybe Richie would have some. There'll be events where there's some police monitoring, of course. I think y'all have done that before, and they've been very cooperative. I've noticed all the events on the square. So it all leads to, you know, just a really hopeful upward trend, which I think we can just really be proud of. I was telling Andy, you know, word gets out and spreads on these things. About, I don't know, 10 years ago, I don't know if y'all have been up there, the little town of Winchester, Tennessee got a huge grant. There were 3 regions of Tennessee that were eligible, and they picked one city in each. I think the state did this, and Winchester got one of them. If you haven't seen their little square up there, it is gorgeous. And we've done the same thing here, bit by bit, and this would be like the crowning jewel, I think. And people are going to talk about it. They're going to come here they already come here for events, and this will give them one more reason to come here. And it just elevates the status and the enjoyability of our city, which I think is a wonderful thing and a great tribute to the 2 sisters, the Bynum sisters, for many, many years ahead. So we're most grateful for your help and your cooperation and your willingness to look forward and do something great for the city. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one question.
Yes.
In the beginning, you said the city wouldn't be out any money. Does the foundation still want what we have pledged to give? Okay.
Michael.
Okay.
I had a couple questions for Jeremy.
Can I piggyback on?
Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot it. I just want y'all to understand it. So I took some notes here while we were with this thing, recording everything. I want want y'all to understand, because, you know, when you bring up the maintenance, how do you get this stupid thing to quit?
Julie, help him.
He brought up a few things that y'all may have a few questions about. So we have researched the extensiveness of the materials to death. One reason it's, you know, it's not a cheap project, and that's one reason that we chose the materials we did. All the stage, I didn't explain this. So basically all of this stage area and the sidewalks here, this will all be just concrete, okay? Asphalt in the parking lot. So, you know, I don't know what the asphalt requirements are, but every so many years you need to put a sealer on. True curbs, okay, and gutters. Now, just to get into the, I guess, the meat and potatoes of it, I've still got to meet with utility boards, okay, and go over a few things that I'm hoping, I don't know if any of them are in here tonight.
Yes, one.
I mean, you gotta talk. I'm hoping that we can kind of achieve, there's some power lines that are back there that are unsightly, they're old. It could be old telephone lines, I don't know what it is. I mean, there's just a lot of utilities coming in from this area, okay? So we're, you know, gonna get those underground if all possible. We're really, the sewer line, we know where it is. There's some drainage issues that we've gotta work through. There's no curb and gutter back there on that back street. So there's no inlet for us to dump our water into. We've got a plan to make it all work, but I've still gotta meet with utility boards. Typically, cities are cooperative, on a project like this. I do not see any reason we can't work through all of that. But as far as the maintenance goes, like Bill said, synthetic turf's gonna be the same place on a football field, okay? They've come a long ways with that stuff. You know, every once in a while, you're gonna have to fluff it up if it gets matted down. The pavers, all the concrete pavers there is, this whole area here will be pavers. So if there's ever any issues, they can be taken up, put back down. We don't foresee any settling issues. That lot's been there forever. We have no idea what's under it. We know that there's asphalt there. We've already shot the grades on all that. But those pavers will be sealed, easy to wash. There is, you know, a little bit of maintenance every once in a while. There's maintenance to anything. But we're trying to create less maintenance for the city. The bathrooms is very simple, you know, and y'all know what's all involved in that. But, you know, I feel like, because I know what this is going to look like when it's done, it's going to be an eye-opener. And it's something that I think that if it's maintained correctly, it'll be years and years of good use for everybody. And one thing I also want to say, we've got the police officer back here, and I hit this, I pounded this through their heads, and, you know, I'm from Albertville, okay? I think Scottsboro is cool. I don't live here. Sometimes you don't realize the coolness of something if you live in it every day. That's the truth. I love coming here. My dad comes up here all the time to eat 10-cent hot dogs or whatever they are. I mean, y'all don't make nothing off my daddy, I promise. But, yeah, I love eating over there. That diner is cool. And to y'all, you take it for granted. If you live here your whole life. I live in Albertville. We don't have anything like that. I mean, everybody thinks we're just awesome up there. We got a park, and, you know, all that. It's nice. But we don't have that old school. I'm an old school guy. I love that old fashioned, down home feel. Okay? This is a common square. Think about how many cities now don't have a square like that. We don't have one. Our courthouse falling in Albertville. So, I mean, you know, we don't have that. So I think what y'all got here is awesome. And since he's back there, we've done so many of these parks. And that's one thing I taught them. That's one reason we split the bathrooms up. City of Boaz, we did Old Mill Park for them. And the mayor was adamant. We're going to leave it open 24 hours a day. And I told him, I said, buddy, you're fixing to open yourself up for some failures. And he's like, nah, we've got a pretty clean city. And I said, you don't understand. It brings out the worst, okay? So when his deputies are patrolling at night, the drug use, the teenage kids, everything y'all can imagine was going on in those bathrooms at night. Nobody was there. It was well lit, but nobody's up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, normal people. You know, unless you're working hard, unless you're working third shift or something. And so I was in the middle of having to maintain some of that stuff, and I finally met with them. I was like, "You've got to close this park up. They can't open it up like y'all can." You know, the Jack and Jill thing where we talked about where people, if you're up here walking, exercising at midnight and need to use the bathroom, you'll be able to do that. But you're not gonna be able to get to the inside of the park. So it's very important. It's a great safety structure. You got a building on both sides. We're gonna have nice wrought iron fencing in the back with 2 gated entrances. There's gonna be nice wrought iron fencing and a brick knee wall in the front with a formal entrance with probably an arched entrance. We gotta work out a few logistics on that. It'll be easy to secure. Very easy. If somebody climbs the fence, that's an arrestable fence, correct? Okay. If somebody climbs the fence, you can't control that. But, that's one reason we're asking to lock it up, just for the benefit of the city. It'll keep a lot of people that don't need to be in there out of there at night. So, I just wanted to clear that up, because I want y'all to understand it's not gonna be a lot of maintenance, okay? You don't have to worry about cutting grass, the shrub, there is gonna be some shrubs, some bulbs, and that kind of stuff. Anyway, we'll work on that. All right, I'm gonna shut up.
No, hold up. Jeremy? All right, so, of course, you're not throwing up 20-foot trees right off the bat. I'm sure they're smaller when you plant them.
No, they'll go in here and have some stature to them.
Okay.
You know, we'll probably bring in, Andy and I, and his daughter's in horticulture as well, so, I would like to bring in some probably 5, 6 inch, so
Okay.
something with some major stature. We want this thing to pop.
Yeah.
That's one reason we're going to open it in warm weather. And in order to do that, we gotta get going. Most of the shrubbery that will be there will be pretty mature when I bring it in. And the trees will be dwarfed from beginning. They're not gonna be happy there. So they're not gonna grow fast, which is a good thing. They'll be healthy, but they're not gonna grow like they would out in the big, you know, everything's gonna be blocking their elements. And it's gonna stunt their growth, which is a good thing, because the trees, honestly, if I could keep the tree the same size as it when we plant it, that's all we need.
Okay.
And we possibly will put in, we may end up incorporating some wind cells for shade.
Okay.
'Cause that'd be a hot box in there.
But yeah, but you're gonna have turf, so I was make sure that our maintenance people know what needs to be done there as far as, you know, these trees are gonna be new, they're gonna need water.
Yes, sir.
You know, they're gonna need a lot of stuff.
Everything will be irrigated.
Okay, that's what I need to know.
Even the turf.
Okay.
So if it's 127 degrees in there and you got an event, keep the irrigation on, cool it off, get the static off of it, ready to go. All
sounds
that will be
great.
controlled from a computer. Whoever your maintenance guy is in town, all the irrigation will be controlled from your phone. There will be a clock there, but that way schedules can be set up.
Yes.
You got an event there, there's nothing more embarrassing than having an event irrigation system coming on. Trust me, it's been there.
Okay.
Albertville High School several years ago playing a football game, which they're terrible at football, but anyway, irrigation came on. Right in the middle of the football game. And it's like, no, you know, it's not a good thing when you got water cannons spraying everybody.
Yeah.
So in those, we maintain the city park at Albertville. We've got a schedule, it's just called an event schedule. There's an event, we go straight to the event, hit the button, it's over with. It automatically kicks off with the normal daily schedule, and it comes on the event schedule, you don't have to worry about it. It's that easy now. Not for me, because I don't know anything about computers, but for y'all, good breeze.
Next, you talked about security. Me and the mayor have talked about cameras at different parks. We've got a lot already. Are we incorporating
Yes.
already having cameras here?
Cameras will be there.
Okay.
See, I forgot everything. Cameras will be there, very, very nice cameras.
Okay.
Lighting will be really nice. We're gonna have, accent lighting on all the trees, all the walls. There'll be under the cap lighting on all the walls.
Nice.
It'll be very, very well lit at night. Probably even have some, lights on the stage to stay on all night, just some dim lighting, just to kind of put a little bit up there. We want it safe, you know, it's Scottsboro, and we say nothing's gonna happen here. You know, I mean, I'm sure that's what you think. It's a safe city, it's not like New Orleans. But you never know. We definitely don't wanna create an area that could pose a threat to somebody that walks in there. And lighting is a big deterrent. So there'll be plenty of lighting, not bright lights, but good soft lighting, and the security will be very extensive. So, and all that will be state-of-the-art stuff that somebody who does that in our city, I don't know who that is, but all that will be backed up on, satellites and all that kind of stuff we're going to keep up with it. If something does happen, he can come up here. I'm picking on you, man, I don't know what you did. He can come up here, ask for your, you're the chief. So you will be coming up here. But anyway, you can come up here and he can go back and look at all that and get you, he can get what he needs, okay? So, and y'all, we'll be transparent with that and let y'all know all that kind of stuff. We're just trying to get to the starting point. So,
Thank you.
got anything else?
I don't. Anyone else have anything else?
It's just exciting.
It is.
It's very exciting, and appreciate all of the work that you have done, ladies and gentlemen. And I know that Mark Scott would really be happy. That's all.
Mr. Kimmer.
I had spoken with Mr. Skelton and Mr. Talley. I don't see anything in the way of an agreement. And besides the construction contract and any kind of conveyance of title, we'll be looking into the insurance situation. It's currently on city insurance. I thought deed would probably be the best way to go, but we can figure a way, and Mr. Talley, Mr. Skelton and I will figure out that way with the committee's assistance. And we will have paperwork recorded just as the Caldwell family did when they contributed Caldwell Park, to ensure that when these young people who've just been in the play are sitting up here 50 years from now, they won't have to rely on their memory of today's date. We will have papers that will say who and what responsibilities belong to whom. And so we will get that done and get to work on it pretty quickly.
Sounds great. Anyone else have any comments, questions on that?
Mr. President, if I could, I'd just like to thank Andy and the Bynum Foundation. This is going to support the efforts downtown that we have been working on for a long time. So appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
And also Main Street. I mean,
Yes.
like I said, I really thought it was more than 2.5 years ago. I remember these meetings a long time ago. So, yes, it definitely does. Thank you all. All right. That being said, this will conclude our meeting, our work session. We will go into a council meeting in just a moment. So, we're adjourned. Just keep it going. Keep it going. Click and edit.
This guy?
I gotta start new one. I'm gonna give him about 30 seconds. And I'll start banging. Yeah. Well, I need all my council people to get up here.
Well, certain things you just don't, there's no need to go there.
Thank y'all so much.
Appreciate it.
I'll probably be crying.
I know. And
Rightfully so.
yes.
Pounded into order, Mr. Bailey.
Well, I gotta wait on Nita now. She's 4 rows deep.
Jane?
She'll get up here before you call her name.
Be careful.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
Hey, how are you? Oh, you do? Okay. You want to email me? Oh, okay.
We'll have to do it.
Oh,
What?
John?
Yes.
Good, how are you?
Nice to see you, Jonathan.
Good to see you, brother. I'm okay.
somebody about.
You too.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, Whitney, sorry.
We'll call this council meeting Monday, January 27th to order. We'll dispense with formalities. Ms. Phillips, will you do the roll call?
Ms. Tolliver,
Here,
Mr. Ashburn,
Here.
Ms. Frederick,
Here.
Mr. Bailey.
Here. Before we adopt the agenda, I'll read it out since we just moved things here tonight. Number one will be consider the approval for the tourism grant application for the Scottsboro High School Drama Club. Number two will be consider the resolution to surplus 3 vehicles and budget amendment to purchase a police vehicle with up to $26,000. So with that being said, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
second,
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Agenda's adopted. Next is the approval of previous minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. There's no old business, so we'll go to number one tonight. Consider the approval for the tourism grant application for Scottsboro High School Drama Club. In your motion, please put an amount. So I open the floor now.
I'd like to make a motion that we give $1,000.
Okay. I have a motion on the floor to give $1,000 to the Scottsboro High School Drama Club out of the tourism grant. So do I have a second?
Second,
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Motion's approved. Number two, consider the resolution to surplus the 3 vehicles and a budget amendment to purchase a police vehicle up to $26,000 that will come out of excess sales tax. So do I have a motion to approve that?
I'll
I'll
make
make
that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That'll conclude the meeting. There's no delegations tonight, so we'll go to reports. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. The only thing I've got tonight is to remind everybody, or the ones that don't know, Congressman Strong's staff will be here tomorrow from 10 to 4. So no appointment necessary, but he'll have staff here most all day tomorrow. So that's all I've got.
They'll be here at City Hall, correct?
Yes, here at City Hall from 10 to 4.
Okay. All right. Ms. Frederick?
I don't have anything tonight. I think I've already said enough.
There you go. Mr. Ashburn?
Like for everybody to remember Ralph Dahl in their prayers. He has some medical issues going on, so prayers would be, I know, really appreciated. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Oliver?
I just want to take a moment to thank our first responders this weekend. I seen it first class fire department, first class the police department. I witnessed something this weekend, and I'm just so proud of our city first responders. And I can tear up, but I am so happy, John, of your department, and Chief, your department too. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have anything tonight. Just to remind everyone, we'll have a work session February 3rd, a meeting February 10th, a work session February 17th, and a meeting February 24th. So February should be back to normal finally. So appreciate everyone coming out. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.